We're back on the Lobo Basketball pregame show on senior night, honoring two great Lobo seniors, Dane Kuiper and Anthony Mathis. Guys, your final home game. Dane, unbelievable journey, and you have really given everything to Lobo basketball. What are the emotions going to be like for you as you take the court for the final time?
It's going to be very, very happy, sad for me. You know, I've always wanted to get my life started and get out of college, but at the same time, I'm really going to miss playing here, the fans, the environment, everyone I've met. So it'll be definitely happy, sad for me.
So bittersweet for Dane. What about you, for Tone? What are the emotions going to be like for you?
I would say the same thing, bittersweet. I'm excited to get started with my life, but obviously I'm going to miss the everything that Dane said, the teammates, coaches, all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's been a crazy journey, and I'm going to miss it for sure.
We've got Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper, Lobo seniors, being honored as New Mexico takes on Boise State in Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. So, Dane, how many folks will be here for you? Who's going to be on court when you get the jersey, the roses, the whole deal?
My mom, my dad, my brother, his fiance, my girlfriend, and me. I think that's it.
That's a great group. What about you, Tone? You get more?
And my grandma.
Wonderful. Graham's is going to be here, too. That's great. What about you, Tone?
I'm going to have a packed house, so I'll probably have about like 14, 13. Yeah. My mom, my uncle, my grandma, my guardians from back home, and then my girlfriend and her parents, and probably some of her little siblings. So, because they've been there since day one, so I can't forget them.
That's awesome. Will there be a tear shed?
I hope not, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, there could be. You know, it's just going to be an emotional moment. Saying goodbye to all the fans. I've never been good at goodbye, so we'll see.
What about you, Dane? Maybe a little tears?
Definitely. If I do a speech, I might get a little tearful. But I'm just going to really miss everything, you know? That's what it's going to be.
We got Dane Kuiper and Anthony Mathis with us. You'd love to go out with a dub, too, and a big performance, right?
Yes, I would, you know. Just like the U of A game from last year, I'm either going to score a lot or foul out. So, you know, I'll promise a lot of scoring or a lot of fouling.
Tone, you remember that.
Yeah.
He's playing against essentially his home state team, right, from where he played his high school ball, and he went off.
Exactly, he did. And it was on his birthday, right? Yeah. So it was amazing.
Got anything in store for your final home game? You want to go out on top, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course we want to get a win. That's the most important at the end of the day. Just trying to go out there and compete. But it would be good to go out in the pit and give these fans a win.
Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper are with us. It's been an up and down season for the team, and for you, Dane, up and down because of injury. Not exactly what you'd hope for.
Yeah, not at all. It's not how anyone wants to spend their senior year not playing, but I really feel like I've fought through adversity and I've been able to grind out these last couple games and then the tournament. So I hope the best outcome comes out of it, you know.
Fans probably don't even realize that. I mean, you've been battling knees. You've got a shoulder that needs work done. You had a back, during, camp. What's been the hardest thing to deal with?
I think my knees, because it's been an issue since I was like a freshman in high school, and it's finally hit a point to where it stopped me from playing. But, I just have to slowly rehab them every day just to get a little bit better and better so I can play and put my heart on the floor.
Tone, you took a hard fall. You dealt with a tailbone for a couple of weeks, and I know that hand, are you going to have work done on that left hand ultimately?
Yeah, I'll get surgery on my thumb afterwards just to repair the ligaments that torn in it. But other than that, I'm good to go, really. I can't really feel any pain unless it gets hit. And my tailbone's fine now. Vlad, unfortunately, is going through that, so I feel for him.
It's not fun, huh?
No, not at all. You never realize how much your tailbone is involved until you have it bruised or cracked. It's involved in everything: running, bending over, sitting down. It's not a good thing.
A little message to the fans as you say goodbye. What would you say to them?
Thank you for your undying support. It's meant a lot to me over the years, just seeing a bunch of familiar faces in the front rows and everywhere. So I just want to say thank you for always being there. That's Dane Kuiper. What about you, Tone? What would you like to say to him?
Obviously, thank you, and just that I truly appreciate everything you guys have done for me, not only myself, but the team. Just sticking with us through this tough season. We truly appreciate it beyond words that I can explain. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That's Anthony Mathis. Now, a final trip down memory lane. A lot of great memories, I'm sure. You already mentioned the big scoring output against Arizona, yep. Dane. Some other favorite memories? Probably a lot of them.
Definitely the game against San Diego State at home. They've been our rivals since the first time I ever came on a visit here, knew about New Mexico. So having Antono hit that game winner was just a really special feeling.
I'll step in on that one, too. Anytime you beat SDSU, it's a great day, and that was sweet as can be. Tone, you've got some special ones. Which ones are at the top?
I'm going to say Nevada this year, and then I really enjoyed senior night last year, just for Joe and Sam and all them to go out the way they did, with the 7-game win streak going on that we had, and just getting a big win against Fresno in front of an amazing crowd that night, and just to have Joe go out that way and Sam and Antono, it was great.
Lastly, the run that you just talked about, take me through that, how fun that was to win those 7 in a row, last 5 regular season, first 2 postseason, and you play for the title against your rivals, San Diego State, in LV, in Las Vegas.
I mean, it was amazing. You can't explain it unless you're a part of the team. Like, when you see people come together like that and truly play for one another, it's something special to be a part of. And I hope we can get that this year. It was just super, super special for everybody a part of it, and everybody was contributing from 1 to 13 or whatever it was on the team. Everybody was equally important, and it was just amazing.
How sweet was that for you, Dane? What about that run?
That run was probably the most amazing thing I've been a part of. In high school, my school won 4 state championships in a row, and that didn't really compare, because we're at such a high level that it was a phenomenal run, and I hope that we can put something together this year.
Dane Kuiper, congratulations on an unbelievable Lobo career, and best of luck here down the stretch.
Thank you so much. You've been an awesome radio guy to have past these 4 years, and I love you, man.
I appreciate that, Dano. And Anthony, same to you, Anthony Mathis. Heck of a career, and congratulations on that, and I hope this the close to the season is what you're hoping for.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been, a crazy ride, and I appreciate you.
Anthony Mathis, Dane Kuiper, Lobo Seniors. We're back after this. Lobo basketball from Learfield IMG College. Welcome back on the Lobo Basketball pregame show. It is senior night. The Lobos hosting Boise State, the final regular season home game for 2018-2019. And it's our privilege to talk to Lobo head coach Paul Weir. Coach Weir, first, let's start with the seniors, because it is about celebrating Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper tonight. We've talked briefly about them already, of course, on Lobo Talk this week, but let's get into a little bit more depth. First, you know what? I'd love for you to share that story about your first meeting with Dane Kuiper and how you brought in every single one of the guys, 13 or 14 of them, right? And he was the only one that said one thing.
Yeah, no, I remember it very vividly. I met with every single player on the roster that was here. I think like 10 of them told me they were leaving. A few told me they were on the fence, and Dane said, "Coach, I'm all in," and there wasn't anything else we had really much to talk about. So it was a pleasure at the time, obviously, and it's been a real blessing to have him for the past couple of years. I know this year in particular probably hasn't gone the way he would have envisioned or liked, but hey, everything in life happens for a reason. I think there's a purpose to this, and hopefully it'll be something that'll allow him to grow and mature as a man.
I tried to think of how I could ask some questions about these guys that we haven't already discussed before. And I thought of this. You got a chance to see him on tape before you ever got him on the court. You had an idea of what you thought you might have with him. Certainly you coached against him. Yep. What surprised you about him over the 2 years that you've actually had him in your program playing for you?
I think the thing really about both of them, to be honest with you, and I don't want to necessarily just say they're identical to each other, is just been their class and their just unselfishness towards the team. I mean, obviously Anthony didn't have a great first 2 years here, had a new coach, but he embraced it with a great attitude and kind of tackled it the way you would want any young man to do that. And Dane, no different. Obviously Dane's last year, and maybe even a little bit going into last year with the splint on the finger and all these things, it's never really quite gone his way. But at no point did he ever, complain about it, get negative about it, hurt the team about it. They've both been just such classy individuals, just well beyond their years with regards to how they've approached not only me, but our team in the last couple seasons. And it's been a blessing to coach them.
What makes Dane such a good defender, and in particular on-ball defender? Is there something about him technically? Is he really sound? Is it just want to, an effort? Is it a combination of things?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good athlete just to start with. He's got a terrific body. It's very well balanced. He's strong in his upper body and his lower body, and he just moves really well laterally, so he's able to really lock in on guys with his strength his size, with his speed, particularly laterally, and he's just got a good understanding. He's played basketball for 4 years, so by I don't know how he was really his first couple of years here, but obviously for us last year and then going into this year as well, he's emerged as a really good defender.
Has he emerged as a leader as well as one of your seniors over these 2 years?
I think he's tried. The in and out of the lineup's been hard for him. He's missed a lot of practice time. He's just been in and out of a lot of different things. I think everybody respects Dane. I think everybody values what he brings, what he's done to for this program over the past 4 full years. But at the same time, it's probably harder for him to really get as outgoing or into it as people would like, just because he quite frankly hasn't been able to see the floor as much, particularly in practice.
Lobo head coach Paul Weir is with us. We're on senior night talking about 2 Lobo greats, Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper. Shifting back to Anthony Mathis, he is an unbelievable shooter. I found it fascinating that you said really the only thing that held him back at the start of his first year with you was you.
As I got here and I was working with all these new kids we recruited, kids that were here, we were working on a lot of different matchups, lineups, whatever it may be. And, it took Joe was getting consistent minutes and it took him a while to turn the corner. But Antono and Anthony were probably ones that maybe weren't getting a lot of time early on. And it took a little bit of time for them to get into a rhythm and play really well down the stretch. And I always look back going, gosh, maybe if I played them a little earlier, we would have won some more games early on. But, I'm again, that's what just kind of epitomizes his class and his respect for me and the program. Just kind of working through even the first part of that junior year where, he wasn't necessarily maybe playing as much as he does now.
I suppose you'd love to have a 6'5" guy who's incredibly athletic, who can jump out of the gym and shoot the eyes out of it and be everything, a great defender too. But as you look back on your first backcourt and to have Anthony Jackson and Anthony Mathis, the way they complemented each other, pretty special.
For sure. I think they were both terrific together. That the end of the game at UNLV, they were kind of playing off each other. You didn't know who was going to shoot. Same thing, San Diego State. Like they both really did complement each other well. We all talk about how fun it could have been to watch Jaquan Lyle passing to him all year as well, but unfortunately that didn't materialize. Anthony's taken a huge load on his shoulders this year, trying to be the point guard, trying to be the 2 guard, trying to be the leader, trying to do it all himself. He's done it admirably. It has not always been perfect by any means, but just the way he's kind of handled as a human being is nothing that you could ever be disappointed in.
And you told us this week, hands down the best shooter you've ever coached.
You can't knock his results. And what the shots he's made and the games he's made them over the last couple of years, you wish, that he'd been doing this for, many more years, for everyone to really, really appreciate how great of a player he is. And I think he's closing in potentially on a single season, et cetera. But, for a kid like that, if he had the opportunity to maybe do it over more years, I think even nationally, people would probably be talking a little bit more about him. But, happy for him, for that. And obviously just an amazing shooter. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, a handful of threes away from a single season UNM record for 3-point field goals made. A few more moments with Lobo head coach Paul Weir. A brand new scout, Boise State, your only regular season matchup with them, and it's the next to last game of the regular season. What scares you most about them?
I think I talked about this with you before the Colorado State game. We're obviously preparing for our opponent and we're doing all the things we need to get ready for, but our emphasis right now is internal. We have to take good care of the basketball and we have to rebound the basketball. Those are 2 things that we want to be able to go into a game, whether we're playing Boise, Colorado State, Wyoming, whoever it may be. We've got to take good care of the basketball and we have to rebound the basketball. So within that, we'll talk about a lot of different things. Boise State zone, so you work on your zone offense. We'll work on things that hopefully will prevent us from turning the basketball over and then give us the advantage to rebounding the basketball as well. And then obviously some nuances in the game and things you want to attack. But for us right now, our mantra over the last couple of weeks has really been rebounding and taking care of the basketball. And I think that's going to be our idea tonight, whether it's Boise or Nevada. It really doesn't matter. We've got to go do those 2 things.
I guess in some ways it kind of fits then that you're trying to defend a team that has so many different sets and offensive plays and things that they do that maybe it's just stick to your principles.
For sure. And that's something you really want to do anyways. They present some interesting matchups. Obviously, Jessup is a terrific player. Hobbs was unbelievable against us last year when we were in Boise. Alston's come in and just, he looks terrific as just a prospect. I mean, obviously he shows some flashes right now, but you're looking at this kid going, wow, like he's going to be an incredible player. They just got some really good pieces, and they've lost a lot of close games, which can mean a lot of different things. But they were up at San Diego State with a minute to play. They were up at Fresno with a minute to play. They were up at UNLV with a minute to play. They were up at, I mean, I can go down the line of these games where they were right there and they could very easily have won. And I don't know what their record is now, but it could be flipped, very easily. I think it's 7-11 or something like that, but it could very easily be flipped the other way. And this is a third place team in the league. So very good basketball team, very competent basketball team, balanced in a lot of ways. And I think Leon's a terrific coach. So we have our work cut out for us tonight.
Coach, we're going to be a great night, a memorable night, as we say goodbye to Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper in their final home game. Best of luck, and let's go get them.
Yep. Thanks so much, Rob.
Lobo Coach Paul Weir, our guest. We're back after this. Lobo basketball from Learfield IMG College. Welcome into the Lobo basketball post-game show. New Mexico defeats Boise State 73-72 on senior night. For outstanding Lobos, Dane Kuiper and Anthony Mathis. They're running a video of Dane right now, and I am guessing that we will hear from Dane live here in just a moment. Let's pause briefly, 10 seconds for station ID on the Lobo Radio Network. Lobos 73, Boise State 72. Dane Kuiper out on court with his parents and others that have come, many from long distance. Dane is from Wasilla, Alaska. He played his high school basketball in Tempe, Arizona at Corona del Sol. And Kuiper, the Thrilla from Wasilla. Kuiper the Sniper, multiple nicknames. When you have more than one, you know you've left an impression on your fan base. And they continue with this video. Dane just called the fans here in Albuquerque the best in the country. And it was Dane Kuiper who made the key play, the game-clinching play, with a clean reach-in and strip of Hobbs as Hobbs was trying to get off a potential game-winning three-point shot. Kuiper took the ball away from him. And how fitting, Hunter, that when Dane Kuiper's strengths are his on-ball defense, that he was on the ball in crunch time and stripped the best scorer that Boise State has, and that was the biggest play of the game. The Lobos defeated Boise State 73-72. He saved it at the finish.
And those are the things that Coach Weir talks about. Dane Kuiper, this is what he does. Those little things, getting a steal in the closing seconds of the game was crucial, and the reason why New Mexico was victorious tonight.
Terrific play by Kuiper and a big win for the Lobos, 73-72. And how about this? If the Lobos were to win on Wyoming senior night in Laramie, it would be the first time this year that UNM has 3 consecutive wins against Division I opponents, and it would be to close out the regular season. That's the way you want to finish.
Yeah, I mean, no question. And you could see New Mexico actually is getting better in the last 3 or 4 games.
All right, we're going to step aside as the fans hear from Anthony Mathis in a pre-recorded video. The other Lobo senior. Lobo 73, Boise State 72. Final back in a moment. Lobo basketball from Learfield IMG College. 73-72 is our final as the Lobos have defeated Boise State here on senior night in Dreamstyle Arena, the pit. The fans were just treated to recorded comments from Anthony Mathis, the Lobos' unbelievable shooting guard. Anthony told us there would be some 13 or 14 family and friends on hand tonight in this legendary facility for his senior night. And the round of applause you're hearing right now is for Tony. Tone, as his teammates call him, Anthony Mathis, one of the all-time great Lobo shooters ever. And if Anthony can knock down 2 more threes before the game's over, before the season's over, Anthony will tie the record for single-season threes. If he could make 3, and he has a regular season finale and at least 1 tournament game to do that, he would be the all-time record holder by himself. Okay, here's Dane Kuiper live. Let's see if we can listen in a little bit.
Because I'll get very emotional and it'll be bad. You know, I just want to start off by thanking Coach Weir for believing in me and keeping me on the team. You know,
Kuiper, Lobo Senior. Emotional, understandably so. Game-winning steal for Kuiper tonight. Anthony Mathis now.
First off, I just want to say thank you to the fans. This has been the craziest 4 years of my life, and you guys are truly amazing. You guys have made this journey memories I will never forget for the rest of my life, and you guys will always be in my heart, so thank you. To the coaches, obviously you guys have done so much. I could never ask any more from you guys. Spending countless hours in the gym with me. It's just been truly amazing 4 years. To my teammates, obviously, yeah, it's truly been a crazy journey these 4 years. A lot of ups and downs, but we truly came to practice every day and grinded. So I appreciate you guys for still being here. My family, obviously, I have a very big supporting cast, and without the sacrifices, the time, money, traveling, everything like that, I truly wouldn't be here today. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Lobo Nation.
Anthony Mathis, the shooter, the marksman. And a final round of applause from the Pitt faithful. One last horn for Kuiper and Mathis as his teammates, their teammates, mob them near the Shield logo at center court. What a beautiful on-court ceremony. By the way, we should point out, remember those unbelievable New Mexico State flag themed jerseys the Lobos used one time to beat Nevada?
Yep.
Yes. That's the jersey that's in the incredible clear glass that they will take home from their senior
And I was
night.
wondering, I was sitting here looking at them, and they're beautiful. How come they didn't turn them around so you could see the last name? But they don't have the last names on the jerseys anymore. Maybe we could sell that. Maybe we can get guys to donate money to get the names on the back of the jerseys. I'm selling it, man.
Love you, Hunter Green. 73-72, Lobos beat Boise State. Back after this timeout. Lobo basketball from Learfield IMG College.
Thanks to
The families are on court with Lobos seniors Dane Kuiper and Anthony Mathis, taking photos with the two of them with those unbelievable canary yellow New Mexico State flag themed Lobo jerseys from the Lobos' destruction of then number 5 in the coaches poll, Nevada. Unbeaten Nevada here in Dream Style Arena, the Pit earlier this season. Those jerseys going down in the annals, and those two particular jerseys going on the wall in Kuiper and Mathis's future rooms. All right, time to select our PNM Reliable Player of the Game. The game changer for the Lobos, of course, it's Lobos senior Dane Kuiper. No Lobos on the key again. Bragg's second foul shot short. Rebounded Jessup. Boise State ball. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Now they get it to Hobbs. Hobbs off the ball screen. Hobbs stripped by Kuiper on senior night. Kuiper with the biggest play to save a Lobo win. 73-72. Yep, Dane Kuiper did it. And the smile literally stretched from ear to ear. It still does. Dane Kuiper with the biggest play of the season, really, at the end of a game that the Lobos had to have if they wanted to climb out of the 8-9 game from the play-in day in the Mountain West Tournament. They got it done because of Kuiper's game-clinching steal at the final horn. Dane Kuiper, the PNM Reliable Player of the Game. PNM delivers reliable energy to you 24/7. Committed community partners, PNM, adding cleaner resources, including more solar and wind energy, working to build a strong, sustainable energy future for New Mexico. Talk to us at pnm.com, where you can manage your account and learn how to save money on your electric bill. Dane Kuiper, the PNM Reliable Player of the Game. And he has been the most reliable Lobo on defense, really from day one since Coach Ware arrived on campus. That has become his role. The defensive stopper often guards the best player on the other team when healthy, and he made the biggest defensive player of the year.
He did. And, I think going back to what Coach Ware is talking about, just his attitude from day one when he interviewed him, he just said he was all in. And I think that's kind of indicative of Dane Kuiper. He's been all in ever since he's signed. In fact, he gave a verbal commitment, I think, his junior year in high school to be a Lobo. He's been all in. So Dane Kuiper is will be missed, and he's just ultimate teammate in Lobo.
You're 100% right about that, and there's a fabulous photo of Dane Kuiper and Jordan Hunter and Mitch Lightfoot and Anthony Mathis, who were all signees and all would have entered the program together. Of course, Lightfoot got the great opportunity to go to Kansas, and who could begrudge him? Right. So he went to play for the Jayhawks and Coach Self, but they looked like kids in that photo. Just little. Yeah, how much you grow up from 18 to 22. You had a 5-year college career. You left here a man, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's important years in my life. I look back and, from, being 18 years old to 22 years old, I mean, that's a huge difference in terms of growth. And both players, you could see both Mathis and Kuiper, really grew up in this program.
73-72, the Lobos are a winner. Quickly and briefly, as best that we can explain it, if the Lobos finish in a 3-way tie with Air Force and Colorado State, CSU would be the 6th seed, the Lobos would be the 7th seed. It would push Air Force down to the 8th seed. That's obviously very big. Air Force has a 1-game advantage on the Lobos currently. The Lobos are tied with CSU. Air Force plays at Boise on Saturday. The Lobos play at Wyoming on Saturday. And Colorado State hosts UNLV on Saturday. All three massive games for seeding purposes. Any 2-way tie the Lobos might be in, they would win both. If they tie with Air Force, it would be the two of them sharing that position, 6 tied for 6. The Lobos would win the tiebreaker. They'd be the 6. Air Force would be the 7. If something were to happen where they end up tying with just CSU, the Lobos would get the tiebreak on CSU. They would be the 7, and CSU would be the 8. So there you go.
That's simple, man. Sounds like a Rubik's Cube. That's very simple.
The one scenario the Lobos don't want is if they lose on Saturday and CSU wins.
Control your own destiny, man.
Then the Lobos
take care of business at Wyoming.
The Lobos would be the 8th seed. If they lose and CSU wins. Fist bump from Snake. Lobos 73. Boise State 72. Back after this timeout on the Lobo Basketball Post-Game Show. It's Lobo Basketball from Learfield IMG College. We are back live inside Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit, on the Lobo Basketball Post-Game Report. Lobo 73, Boise State 72 is the final. We welcome in Lobo head coach Paul Weir for post-game coach's comments. Coach Weir, what a big win. Congratulations. A senior night win. That was huge for your team.
Yeah, those one-possession games that you win or lose are such emotional swings. I was just saying in the presser, and we've unfortunately lost a lot of one-possession games this year. The Utah State game, the New Mexico State game, the Colorado game. Games where you're just right there and you go up and they have cumulative effects on you. They wear on you a little bit. Just like conversely, the close ones can energize you. And make you feel good. And you see a lot of teams right now in our league that are up at the top, and they've won a lot of close games, and it makes you feel good. It makes you have confidence. So kind of winning these close ones, man, are hopefully really good energy boosters for us as we finish here down the stretch.
Okay, first of all, congratulations, Coach. It always feels good to win at home and on senior night.
For sure.
The Lobos, I thought you guys played an excellent first half. And then the second half kind of just fell off a little bit.
Agreed.
Especially defensively.
Yep.
What was it? What really gave you more problems? Was it their zone defense?
That lineup that started the game for us, I didn't think we necessarily started the game great either. I thought we were just a little lethargic. We didn't look overly engaged. And I told that group in the second half, I'm going to start you again, but guys, we need some life. You guys got to bring some juice. Our first half didn't start to change until we brought those guys in off the bench, Corey and Keith, and we got a little bit of pop there. But that group that started, I just didn't like their energy level, and I thought they started the second half the exact same way, and we came out very lethargic, just kind of going through motions, thinking, hey, we're just going to win now, and I kept telling those guys, they're not going to roll over and die. This is a Division I basketball team. We're not not just going through the motions and finishing this thing. Because you're right. I thought the first 20 minutes was just like the Colorado State game. I thought we came out, we executed, we did everything we were supposed to do offensively, defense. We were just playing a very solid basketball game. And I thought our energy level to start the second half opened the door for them, gave them a little juice, gave them a little momentum, and they're a good team. Like they're not awful. So they used that momentum, got themselves back in the game, and then now we're fighting the rest of the way.
You could see little things you guys are improving on. That's post feeds.
Sure.
Especially in the first half. And it doesn't hurt when Jackson's knocking down those threes.
No question.
Is it just practicing the post feeds?
I think so, yeah. I mean, all year long we've been trying to probably find a good rhythm for what we're doing offensively, whether Tone's at the 1 or Tone's at the 2, Vance is at the 3, Vance is at the 4, running plays, letting them just kind of conceptually play. But I mean, we've been, everybody's seen what we're doing, but I think what we've kind of centered in on here of late is this. We're going to go high-low. We're going to feed the ball. We're going to do our thing. When we feed the ball a lot from the wings is when we get susceptible to double teams and issues like that. So we're trying to play high-low basketball right now, and we can move different guys into those spots. We can post Vance. We can pop Vance. We can post Corey. We can pop Corey. So that was something that we've obviously been doing a lot here lately. Is it the perfect recipe? I don't know, but right this very moment, it's the recipe we're going with.
And you can see you're getting better at it.
For sure.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
You had 4 turnovers in the first half.
No question. And the only turnovers we have, Hunter, and I told them, is when we dribble. I mean, if we just pass and move the ball, we would have had 3 or 4 less turnovers and an 8-point victory, and we've got to find a way to stop dribbling into areas that there's nothing there, and that's coaching too. It's not just them, but that's something for us to win a game where hypothetically we're not supposed to win. We need to have a 5 turnover game. You know what I mean? Like we just do. And we're going to have a 15 offensive rebound game. Like that's the only way we're going to be able to pull this thing off. And I think they understand now the strategy. I think all year we've been kind of identityless. You know what I mean? We've been trying to figure out who are we, what are we doing? And I think we finally realized now we're going to take care of the ball. We're going to get it inside. We're going to rebound the thing, and we're going to use our size and punt it. Like that's what we're going to do. And if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. But at least we know what we're going to do.
You could see that.
Yeah.
So great to be able to ask you this after this game, senior night. Dane Kuiper, you could see, was more aggressive. He took some more shots tonight. He made a big 3 in each half.
Yep.
But take us through the final sequence there as you watched it from courtside, as you guys had to defend after Carlton missed the 2 free throws.
I mean, honest to God, I think my number one, we put them in about 2.5 minutes ago. They made a shot over Drew, and we were like, we need a bigger kind of defender out there. So we put Dane in for defense with about 2.5 to go, knowing we needed some stops. But to me, in those possessions with 8 seconds left or whatever it was when they had the ball, they don't really have any. They didn't have a senior on the court. You know what I mean? They're young, Boise, and to me, in those moments, those 1 possession games is when your experience and your vet, like they've been there. Dane's been in that possession, and he's not nervous. He's reading the play. He's seeing what's happening, and Boise's a younger team, and they have a kid who's bobbling the ball, and that's what we've done. You know what I mean? We've been in the same boat, and we've had a sophomore or a whoever bobble the ball, turn it over, miss a free throw, and unfortunately those moments for the most part are experience. An Antono Jackson, a whoever that they've been down that road. This isn't new for them. They're not nervous. They're not looking in the crowd. They got this.
Coach, I've got a question. Please don't tell me because it was senior night, but underneath your basket, you had Mathis take it out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, don't we want to inbound the ball to Mathis?
Yep. Well, the idea, what we've tried to do all year is have him inbound it to get it right back to him. And that's what we've spent a lot of time on. And we've been pretty good at it this year. And because earlier, and actually it was more last season than anything, most teams are just going to kill themselves to make sure he doesn't get the ball, and if we're all trying to find him, and now it happened last year when we lost to Boise here, we were like, hey, let's get the ball to Tone here, and they're sending 2 guys at Tone, and the poor ball, the passer's looking around. So what we've done a lot of this year is make Tone the inbounder and just try and get it back to him as quick as you possibly can.
Maybe because he was a senior night.
No, it wasn't. And honestly, Carlton had made his last few. I thought, what? True. Carlton's in a good rhythm. He just made his last 4, I think, in a row.
Yeah.
And he was just at the line. So he's the perfect guy to get back there. So that was kind of the thinking, but hindsight's 20/20, I guess.
Well, that actually
it had nothing to do with senior night. No, trust me.
That answers my question, I think. But if you would follow up, because Corey had been terrific from the line tonight. He'd made 9 out of 9, and he wasn't on court in that sequence. Carlton was on court.
Yep. No, Carlton is a very good defensive big man for us. You know what I mean? Is he perfect? No, but he's got great size around the rim. He can gobble up rebounds and he can challenge shots. Corey is a terrific offensive player that's still starting to understanding how the importance of defense and how hard you really have to play. So we were really going offense and defense. It was actually him and Vance. Vance was defense and Corey was offense.
Keith McGee, terrific first half. Not nearly as many minutes in the second half, and Drew Drennan had the ball a lot in crunch time. What was the decision there?
Yeah, I think, Keith is he's a young guy, and he gets in those moments, and you can see him start to go like Energizer Bunny, and you're kind of like, you know what, like, this is scary right now. We need the ball entered. We need to make right decisions. We just need to be solid. And that's just something that he's going to learn and kind of grow with as his career unfolds. And we've unfortunately had to do that quite a bit this year. We had to do it at home here against Nevada, like games where he's talented, and I love what he's going to be. But in those moments, sometimes, he's just getting caught up. He's a kid learning the ropes.
You guys took such good care of the basketball in the first half, only 4 turnovers. Hunter asked you about the post entries, but you've talked about it. It's not just that. We have trouble passing the ball. We have trouble dribbling the ball. Overall, what did you see about how the Lobos were able to secure the ball in the first half, and why did it look so good?
I thought, and Hunter made the point, I think them going zone in the second half just kind of froze us a little bit, and guys just kind of stood there, and we lost our movement. We lost our motion. It got better as it went on, but we just stood a lot, and it forced the guy with the ball to make like good, tough reads. And quite frankly, we don't necessarily have those kinds of, 3 triple threat kind of guys, and it got us into a little bit of trouble. And that was unusual for us because zone offense has been so good for us this year. When teams go zone, we're like, thank God. But they went to it, and it bothered us.
They went back to man-to-man.
They did. You're so right. We came out of the timeout, and I had a zone call, and they went back man, and I'm like, gosh, thank God.
Yeah. I didn't understand.
No question.
Yeah.
No, I agree. We had a zone play set up, and we came out, and they were man-to-man. And
worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Hunter made this point. It does feel like it takes some of the pressure off of everything else when you guys make a few early threes, or just a couple early threes, and you shot it so well from deep in the first half, it almost feels like it relaxes everybody.
I think a little bit, but like I hope anyways that we're starting to take pride in the offensive rebound, man. You know what I mean? Like even down this, it was just like Colorado State. We got a couple extra possessions that literally, if we don't rebound the ball, we probably lose the game. Like we had the ball up 1 with I think it was 34 seconds left. We got a rebound, and then we got another rebound, and those offensive rebounds are huge for us. And it seems small, but to come out of a game and to have 8 offensive rebounds to 4 offensive rebounds, that's 4 possessions. And that's the difference in a game, and that's
this tight one.
Exactly.
And McQuatch hit the boards. Although they didn't have offensive boards, he had 7 boards, and they were key.
No question.
Boards.
No, he's I just said it kind of in the presser. He's had some ups and downs this year. We've had a couple games where we've all sat here and said, McQuatch is back. I don't know if he's ever put together kind of 3 straight the way he has right now. So hopefully that's something he can continue, because all year it just seems like we got one guy going and then another guy goes in a funk, and another guy going and another guy goes in a funk. And if we can get all these guys going at once, or just 3 or 4 of them, we got a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Coach Weir, congratulations. A great senior night win and a great send-off for Anthony Mathis and Dane Kuiper and what they've meant to your program.
No question. I said it to you on the pregame. They're just classy kids. Like, you don't run into kids with the kind of class, maturity, unselfishness that they have. Their parenting, whatever it may be, is off the charts. I had nothing to do with that. I'm lucky as heck to have just been around them for 2 years and realize, like, wow, like a 21-year-old kid can act more mature than me. It's impressive, to say the least, and obviously made a huge impact on a lot of our guys as well.
I can think of this, and I bet you would agree, Hunter, and that the way that Anthony Mathis has gone from wide-eyed in end-game situations to now being the settling force, it's just quite a transformation.
For sure. And unfortunately, he has to. We don't have a lot of other guys that are taking charge in that situation. Our kind of lack of ball handling and passing and functionality, hurts us at times. But he's had so many reps at it now that he's kind of growing into it and growing into the role.
On to the Arena Auditorium in Laramie.
Yep.
We look forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Huge win for the Lobos over Boise State. Final score of 73-72. My on-site engineer is Michael Carlisle, and he did a fabulous job tonight here and has the entire season. This is our last one together. Michael will obviously be watching from afar as we head to Laramie this weekend. Dave Jordan, our producer and engineer in the studios of Learfield IMG College. Spectacular work tonight. My partner is Hunter Green. I'm Robert Portnoy. Want to remind everybody that after a win like this, we're craving some fresh strawberries and raspberries dipped in chocolate and New Mexican flavored candy from the Candy Lady. The Candy Lady offers the best candy in New Mexico. Celebrate tonight's victory by swinging by the Candy Lady in Albuquerque's Old Town. They're home for almost 4 decades. Perfect when you're in the mood for the perfect treat or when you need the perfect gift for all occasions. The Lobos and the Candy Lady, New Mexico traditions for over 30 years. It's becoming a tradition, too, for the Lobos to win on senior night. That was a beauty.
Yeah, it's always a feel-good when you can win on senior night.
Remember, the Overtime Call-In Show is coming up momentarily, taking your calls toll-free nationwide, coming locally to you from Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino, your home for winning entertainment, including simulcast racing with J.J. Buck at the ready to receive your phone calls. This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield IMG College. Under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of New Mexico, reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the University of New Mexico and Learfield IMG College. Announcers are provided by Learfield IMG College and improved by the University of New Mexico. Sweet, Hunter, the Lobos can close out the regular season with, after this victory, a 3-game win streak, should they win on the road against Wyoming.
Yeah, that's you could see the improvement. Even in those losses, there were little baby steps where they were improving, whether it was defense or individual play of each player. It hopefully carries momentum into the tournament. So still got one more on the road at Wyoming. Got to take care of business and then off to Pitt West.
And the Lobos in a very good position to climb into the 7 slot, which would keep them out of the 8-9 game. And, of course, the 8-9 winner plays Nevada the second day of the tournament. So they're not saying that the 7-10 game is going to be a walkover by any stretch, but you'd probably be better off being on the opposite side from the Wolfpack.
Yeah, it gives our fans enough time to get to Vegas.
Right on.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Lobos will play on a Wednesday. But first, of course, in Laramie this Saturday, got to win. You got to win that. Otherwise, none of the rest of it matters. So in Laramie, 4 o'clock Mountain Time, tip-off on Saturday this weekend, airtime 3:30 with the Lobo basketball pregame show. That's going to do it for us. Your final score for the final time is UNM wins to improve to 13-16 and 7-10 in the Mountain West. They drop Boise State to 11-19 and 6-11 in league. New Mexico, in the only regular season meeting with the Broncos, wins. The Lobos 73 and Boise State 72. Good night, everybody. You're listening to Lobo Basketball from Learfield IMG College.
On the Lobo Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to the Overtime Call-In Show.
Got the Alaska connection on deck. Ty, you're on the post-game call-in show. What's up, Ty?
Hey, Lobo Nation. Super excited and kind of been through the process after 4 years, JJ, and just wanted to shout out to everybody how amazingly kind and loving, and it's an emotional time for us as a family. And we're just really proud to be part of Lobo Nation, man. And ask me a question, dude, so I don't start crying.
What did you think of that ending tonight? Dane being in that position and being able to seal this one off.
Well, I like that Anthony tied for second place, got his 100th three-pointer in his season.
Yep.
That kid came from being a 160-pound freshman to a straight-up killer.
Yes, Ty. Both
Man, I'm emotional, dude. It means something to us.
It's great, Ty.
You know?
I appreciate that and you sharing that, because I think people easily forget what this is all about and the work that these student athletes put in. So it's much appreciated sharing those thoughts on this team and those players, man. Thank you so much for the call.
Hey, absolutely. All right, man. Hey, we're not done. We're still in the fight for a national championship. I mean, we really are. And we're still alive and we're moving forward. So, hey, thanks for the call-in. Lobo Nation is one of the most loving, coolest places to play in the world. I would play there in a heartbeat. Thank you, man.
You got it. Awesome, Ty.
All right.
Appreciate the phone call.